Good morning, students. Previous class, I told you that today I will start the microeconomics, and previous class I also gave you the syllabus of micro and microeconomics and statistics. So, economics has two branches: microeconomics and macroeconomics. I have written here. Economics, micro and macroeconomics. The word micro comes from Greek word micros, M-I-K-R-O-S. I have written here micros. This means small, and macros, large. So this word also comes from Greek word, and this means large. So microeconomics deals with the behavior or analysis of the individual and also the economic action of the individual. So in microeconomics we study the individual unit, a consumer, income of the consumer, demand and supply of a consumer. So these are the part included in microeconomics. And macroeconomics deals with the overall performance of the economy, means aggregate demand, aggregate supply, national income, unemployment. So these are the portion of the macroeconomics. Microeconomics included in 11 syllabus, and macroeconomics in class 12 syllabus. So now in microeconomics, first we have to know the meaning of economics. What is economics? Economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Again, I repeat the definition. Economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So this definition, from this definition, three things are very important. We have seen the three things in this definition. So now I am writing the 3 points from this definition one by one. So in microeconomics, ends means wants, limited resource, and alternative uses. Wants, unlimited. So these 3 points are very important, and on these points the definition is made by the professor or economist Robinson. So this definition given by Robinson: economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So ends means wants, unlimited wants. Human wants are unlimited. We have seen that when one want is fulfilled by an individual, another want arises. But we have limited resources. Limited resources means that we get resources from nature, so that's why the resources are limited. As for example, we can say that land is a limited resource. We can increase the size of the land, but we have to fulfill the human wants. So in what way you can fulfill? We can use the resources in alternative ways. As for example, we can say that electricity, this is the resource, and we can use the electricity in different ways. So this is alternative ways of the resources. So these 3 points are very important and related to microeconomics. And this microeconomics is founder of this economics is Adam Smith. That's why it is called the father of economics is Adam Smith. So in examination it can be asked that who is known as the father of economics. So Adam Smith called the father of economics. Adam father of economics. Very very important. Now next point I am going to write economic problem. Economic problem. What is economic problem? Economic problem, we have seen that it is not only the problem in our country, it is the overall the problem of in world economic problem. Why this problem arises? We know that three things: limited resources, unlimited ones, and alternative uses. So first we have to choose to which resources and in what way these resources will be utilized to fulfill the human wants. So choice of technique is related in this case. So economic problem arises due to three things. Number one, limited resource, unlimited ones, and alternative uses. So these are the main things in microeconomics. The economic problem arises. Now next point is positive economics and normative economics. So positive economics and normative economics. So first, what is positive economics? Positive economics is the part of the economic theory. In this economy, the problem, what are the problem of an economy and how this problem will be solved. So these are the problem related, and this means this positive economy based on the actual fact and actual data, and also we can verify the data in positive economics. So positive economics mainly based on the actual fact and what are the problem and how are this problem will be solved. This portion are related in positive economics. But in a normative economics deals with what ought to be or what should be taken by the government, or what should be the problem, how this problem should be solved. So it is based on the opinion of the individual, or it is the suggestive type of economics, but it does not depends, positive economics does not depend on the suggestion. So these are the main differences between the positive economics and normative economics. Positive and normative economics is very important terms in microeconomics. So positive economics, number one, what was, number two, what is, and number three, what will be. And normative economics, what ought to be, what should be. So these are the related in normative economics. So now I'm going to tell an example. There are income inequalities in our economy. There are income inequalities in our economy. This is the example of positive economics. But in normative economics, income inequality should be reduced. Income inequality should be reduced. So this is the example of normative economics. And another example I am giving, that the prices of Indian economy, the prices of the goods constantly rising. So this is the example of positive economics. The government should take step to reduce the prices. So this will be the example of the normative economics. So these are the main differences. It is suggestive type, depends on the opinion of individual, and it is depends on the actual fact. So these are the main differences between the positive and normative economics. So today, up to this next day, I will start the central problem of an economy. So thank you.